Hello, everybody. My name is Tim Hay, and I am the Cooperative Development Director for NASPA Value Point, and I would like to welcome you to the latest webinar series to introduce a brand new portfolio for NASPA Value Point. It's for transcription services, and this portfolio is led by the state of Alaska. On the phone with us today is Eric Borelli, who is from the state of Alaska, and he's the contract lead. So, Eric, welcome to today's call.
Hello, everyone.
And also on the call today is Ted Foskett. He's the Cooperative Development Coordinator for NASPA Value Point, who supported Eric and the sourcing team in this RFP.
Thanks, Tim, and hi, everyone. I especially want to just mention that what a great team. We just really had a great time putting this together. I was very proud of all these folks, and thank you, especially to Eric and Linda out of the state of Alaska that led this full project. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Eric. Eric, would you introduce the team and then go ahead and introduce the contract to everyone?
Before introducing the team, I would also like to take this time to say thank you to all members of the team who dedicated their time and effort to this solicitation. Everyone did an excellent job. The team included procurement officers from 6 different states. From Colorado, Amy Risley. From Idaho, Chelsea Cameron. From Nebraska, Michelle Thompson and Teresa Fleming. From Oklahoma, Keith Gentry. And from Tennessee, Robert Moyer and Kristen McKeever. From Alaska, we had myself and Linda Polk. And from NASPA Value Point, we had Ted Foskett. Now let's talk about what this contract can do for you. The purpose of transcription services is simply converting audio to text. This RFP has established multiple master agreements nationwide that are available to all state agencies and political subdivisions as defined by each state. From this slide, you can see the benefits of having a NASPA Value Point contract. In this case, for transcription services, we are combining state purchasing levels, increasing competition, having competitive pricing, and making it so lower time is needed for contract administration. The RFP process went as follows. Once the draft was completed and the team received approval to move forward, the RFP was posted in February and concluded with awarding master agreements in the beginning of June 2017. In response to the solicitation, we received 21 proposals, of which 19 were determined to be responsive. Of those 19, 6 contractors were awarded a contract. In order to be a responsive vendor, had to meet the following minimum requirements. Have 3 years experience in similar services and must be able to offer services to all 50 states. The team evaluated the proposals on experience and capabilities, data security and confidentiality, references, ability to meet scope of work, marketing strategies, and costs. The scope of work for this solicitation was fairly simple. It included the first 3 categories listed, general, medical, and legal transcription. There were no proposals received for our 4th category, optional transcription services. When vendors charge for their services, it will be based on a per-line cost instead of per page. For this RFP, a line consists of 65 characters with 22 lines per page. In addition, some vendors chose to provide value-added services. These services include transcribing Braille, transcribing multiple speakers on recordings, and transcribing foreign languages. For the transcription services solicitation, contract pricing will be fixed for the first 2 years. Here is a list of the 6 vendors awarded contracts and their contact information. All contractors in this solicitation bid nationwide. Please note their categories listing which services they provide in the far right column. If you have any questions regarding this contract, please feel free to give me a call or send me an email. My contact information is provided below. Thank you and have a great day.
Well, thank you very much, Eric. We're really excited about having these transcription services contracts available. Can you offer any insight on how states can access these, what maybe the process might be? Do they just reach out and contact them, or is there any sort of special steps involved?
Yes, please reach out to the contact provided on the slide, and they will set you up with an account on their personal websites, and you can upload your documents from there.
Alrighty. Thank you very much, Eric. I appreciate it. And thank you for all your hard work and the work of the sourcing team in putting these contracts together. I'm going to take just a couple of minutes to talk about the participating addendum process. As you know, all 50 states are able to utilize the 65 different contracting portfolios that NASPA Value Point has now through a memorandum of agreement, and it allows all the eligible states to utilize any one of our agreements through that MOA. Through the participating addendum process, states have options on how to select their contractors. They can also insert their own state administrative fees, include any unique required terms or conditions within their states, identify options for states or their political subdivisions, and also if they have any specific in-state reporting requirements or other requirements, they can identify all of these options in their participating addendum. There's 3 options for participation, and we always like option number 1 the best, and that's where the state will sign the participating addendum for the entire state as well as all the political subdivisions within the state. If for some reason a state is unable to use these services, but they don't have a problem for political subdivisions within their state to utilize these services, then we would certainly want them to do option number 2, which is where a state will sign a participating addenda for all the non-state agencies or the political subdivisions within their state. So basically all the poly subs can participate, but the state agencies would be excluded. If a state is still unable to sign a participating addendum for whatever reason, political subdivisions are not left out. There's still options for them to participate under these agreements through a process that we do to check in with the Chief Procurement Officer within that state. And I will outline that process here in just a couple of minutes. So participation opportunity steps 1 and 2, the step-by-step process, I'm not going to read this verbatim, but it's primarily negotiations between the entity and the supplier. You would just negotiate directly with the supplier. Once you've reached contractual terms and can agree on everything, then you would just sign the participating addendum and send that into pa@naspavaluepoint.org. Neither the state nor NASPA, the lead state or NASPA Value Point get involved in your negotiations. However, we are here to answer any questions and to help out. If it's a contract interpretation question, if you have a question about a term or condition in the contract, the person you want to contact is Eric. If it's a process question for NASPA Value Point and how the PA process works, you can certainly direct your question to Ted Foskett to NASPA Value Point, and he'd be happy to help you out. So the steps for opportunity 1 and 2 are exactly the same. Opportunity number 3 is where the political subdivision executes their own participating addendum. So if there's any political subdivisions out there that want to utilize these transcription services, you first want to send an email into us and just send that into info@naspavaluepoint.org and indicate who you're with and which contractor you'd like to use. A person from our education and outreach team will then reach out to the Chief Procurement Officer in your state on your behalf to see if they have any objections or not to you executing your own participating addendum. Now, the question comes up always is, why does the CPO have to approve a political subdivision utilizing one of our agreements? Well, the answer is very simple. We support the states, and we recognize that some states may have their own in-state cooperative agreements for various goods and services, and we do not want to compete against those agreements. So that is why we first check in. We check in with the state just to make sure that they don't have any in-state agreements and that they don't have any objections. And provided that they don't have any objections, then the political subdivision is free to execute the PA directly with the supplier. So we'll send an email in to the Chief Procurement Officer, and we'll receive a confirmation back, and we'll copy you and all that correspondence. Once we receive the official confirmation, and if they don't have any objections, then the political subdivision can just go ahead and negotiate directly with that supplier and execute the participating addendum, and then send that PA into pa@naspavaluepoint.org. Once we receive that participating addendum, we will then match that up with the previous email that we received from the CPO, just to show that we've done our due diligence and we checked in with the CPO there, and then we will publish that PA up on the NASPA Value Point website. So we have this handy dandy flow chart on all of our portfolio pages, And there's two tracks here, one for the participating states to follow, and then one for other participating entities or those political subdivisions. And as you can see right here, this is where we talk about contacting the state's chief procurement officer just to make sure that they don't have any objections. Now, this is an important slide for political subdivisions. If you are residing in a state where the state has already executed a participating addendum that allows for political subdivision use for these services, there is no need for you to execute a separate participating addendum. Now, we certainly recognize that some political subdivisions may need to execute their own sort of contractual document just to document the transition or that's occurring between the supplier and that political subdivision. We ask that you use some other document other than the participating addendum, a purchase order or some other memorandum of agreement or something like that, but do not use the participating addendum. And also, you do not need to send in that purchase order or other document to Nashville Value Point. We only want to receive in actual participating addendums. Now, the only exception to this would be is if a state did not execute a participating addendum, then those political subdivisions can execute their own participating addendums following the processes that I just outlined in the previous slide. So some things to remember: sample PAs are located on the Nashville Value Point website under each master agreement portfolio and contractor, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Executed participating addendums will be maintained on NashvilleValuePoint.org and also in a repository. As states start to utilize these services, the United States map will color in showing which states have executed participating addendums. As I mentioned earlier, the lead state and Nashville Value Point do not get involved with your negotiations. However, we are here to help out, answer any questions. As I mentioned, if it's a contract interpretation issue, contact Eric in the state of Alaska. If it's a Value Point process question, you can direct your questions to Nashville Value Point. We ask that you only submit completed and negotiated PAs with signatures from both parties. We're sometimes copied in on communications that occur between a state and a contractor in the negotiations. We don't want to make the mistake of posting a participating addendum that has not been fully negotiated yet. So please only send in completed and executed participating addendums with signatures from both parties. And you can just send those in as a PDF document and we will get those posted. Now, to quickly show you where the documents are located on the Nashville Value Point website, if you go to our main NashvilleValuePoint.org and just do a search for transcription, the contract portfolio will show up here. If you click on this, this will take you to the overview page. It has Eric's contact information here. It has all of the related RFP documents right here, as well as the evaluation methodology and method of award and the award recommendation to the management board. We also have that map I was talking about earlier. So far we have 3 states that have executed participating addendums: Alaska, Colorado, and South Dakota. If you click on either the contractors tab here or this button right here, it'll pull up the 6 contractors that we have available for their services. So I will just pick on this contractor right here. This shows you where the current inception and expiration dates are, where the master agreement is, and also that model participating addendum. If you click on this document right here, this will pull up a Word document. And you can just open up this document and use this as the starting document to begin your negotiations. We ask that states utilize this document first rather than using any previous or old participating addendum documents that you may have in place, just to make sure that you have the most current language. Now, we recognize that some states may already have a pre-approved participating addendum document that has all the current language. That's fine. Just be sure and double check to make sure that the language is still up to date with those documents. So with that, I'd just like to thank everybody for participating in today's webinar. As a reminder, Ted Foskett is the Cooperative Development Coordinator that supports this portfolio, and his contact information is located here on the screen. Feel free to reach out to him if you have any questions regarding Nashville Value Point, and if you're unable to reach him, you can certainly just send your question into info@NashvilleValuePoint.org. I want to thank everybody for their participation today. We hope that everybody finds these new contracts beneficial for their agencies, and we certainly welcome any feedback you may have on these on how to improve them in the future. and I just want to wish you all a great day. Thank you.